Greetings, fellow DC superfans. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
After getting educated, I'm sorry, Dragon, I totally missed that cue. It's been a minute. After getting educated in all things DC, AU, Batman, I've decided it's time to embark on a journey to the Arctic to learn about Superman, the animated series. Aiding me along the way is BlueDragonFive, who we've already established.
That's right, folks. Like Jarrell, I'm serving as Tiki's pre-recorded guide through Superman the Animated Series, with the goal of shedding light and showing Tiki the way to better understand the history of the Last Son of Krypton.
So let's fly to the Fortress of Recaps and talk the main man. Part 1. All right, Dragon. So right off the bat, as soon as I saw Paul Dini's name in the credits as a writer, you know I got excited for this one. I'm not going to say it's my favorite of the show so far, but I will say this is easily the best action that we've gotten, and I think that Lobo is certainly a very memorable villain. Honestly, maybe up there with the best of the Brad Garrett voice roles, just as far as how transformative he makes his voice. I think this episode, the only little tiny thing I would have against it is that there's maybe a little bit too much fighty fight towards the end. But other than that, I mean, I think it's super solid. I think it's definitely unique. We go to some really unique locations, some alien vibes that we haven't seen before in the show. Clark and Lois's dynamic is as electric as it always is. We get some brief but really awesome Lex Luthor stuff. Just all around a really great episode, and it's only the first part, so I'm expecting good things from the follow up.
All right. So, this episode, this part was directed by the great and powerful Dan Reba. Did Last Son of Krypton, Bloodsport from Batman Beyond, which kind of felt appropriate given the hunt, the bounty hunter aspect.
Mm.
Also, Blackout, the Ink episode from Batman Beyond. Our writer on this, Tiki established, Paul Dini, the one and only. Of course, he did Last Son of Krypton, and pretty much, he was very creatively throughout the the course of Superman the Animated Series. Did all the Joker episodes from Batman, all the best Joker episodes from Batman the Animated Series. We know Dini at this point. We get it. Studio. Coco. Some little yummy marshmallows of Dong Yang in there.
Mm.
So, of course, they animated all the episodes of Batman Beyond, as well as Stolen Memories, which we talked about recently.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so long and short of it context-wise, so we got to talk about Lobo. So Lobo was kind of a refurbished character from the DC universe. Essentially, Lobo was kind of like, I want to say originally he was kind of maybe a one-and-done or a very just kind of throwaway villain from Teen Titans. Like, this is like an 83. But in the 90s, like 1990, they basically had this idea of like, hey, let's basically take this character, which is basically let's roughly take Lobo's design, let's retool him, let's make him look a little cooler. And basically, Lobo was reinvented as a parody character. Let's use him to lampoon and satirize the big anti-hero boom in Marvel. So he's basically
right, which is definitely what it feels like.
It's kind of funny. So Lobo initially, and you can kind of tell visually and everything. So Lobo's initial, his whole shtick, his whole kind of satire is Wolverine. But over the years, and based on the way they portrayed Lobo, I think as time went on, Lobo basically became kind of more Deadpool than Wolverine, despite the Wolverine look to him, which is kind of funny.
Uh-huh.
So basically, this was like DC, kind of trying to be clean cut and everything. Where you had like the big anti-hero boom with the Punisher and Wolverine really having a lot of huge popularity in the late '80s, early '90s, and that's pretty much where Lobo comes from. He gets his own series. It's very popular, very funny, and basically, so while that's happening, Paul Dini's reading that series, and he's like, I really like this Lobo character. I would love to work him in if we can. See, Lobo had a lot of run-ins with Superman. He wasn't exclusively a Superman character, but he did have because Superman, because of the death and return of Superman in the early '90s. Superman, he was kind of DC's poster boy in the '90s. So there you go. You'd have a lot of crossover potential with him. So That's why that happened. So, Lobo was fun and popular, and he was a great contrast to Superman, and so much so. I mean, there were a lot of Lobo had a big boom in the '90s, and there was they were trying to get a movie off the ground. That someone did a short film adapting one of the comics that you can find on YouTube. It's like a parliamentary Christmas. Where basically the Easter Bunny, and this is based on a comic, I think. The Easter Bunny, and it was a live action short. I forget if we covered it at one point for Christmas in July. We might have. I can't remember full heartedly, but it was the Easter Bunny hired Lobo to kill Santa Claus.
Oh, man, that does sound familiar, and I feel like we've talked about.
I'm pretty sure we did, but I can't remember which season. It was 12 seasons, kids. I'm sorry. Anyway, so what they did do is kind of off the books. There was a web series, like a flash animated web series with Lobo that actually one of the Freakazoid greats, John P. McCann, worked on, but it was so violent he used like a pseudonym, but it was him. So yeah. Anyway, so Lobo was Dini's pitch for this. Bruce Timm was a little hesitant because he loved it. Like, oh man, Lobo's great, but I mean he's really violent and foul mouthed. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get away with that. And to their shock, like, oh my god, we're able to get away with a lot here, with like kind of softening the edges a little bit on him, but it still worked. It's pretty faithful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's dive into it.
Okay, so we start at Star Labs, where we're continuing the running storyline of Superman. What's he doing exactly? He's like testing the velocity, right? Testing the speed limit, something like that.
Yeah, so they're basically, we kind of saw a little bit of this earlier, and it's kind of been theorized that the episode, it might have been like a production or airing order thing, where I think this was intended to be the first time we saw Superman in the rocket versus the last.
I mean, that would make sense because there's more exposition as to what they're doing than there was in the last time. So
that's the thing. So
from that.
So basically, Superman, like a kind of, I think this is in the Brainiac episode. We established him in the spaceship and everything, where the idea is like, I love the idea that Superman, by proxy of his pseudo Commissioner Gordon-esque character, Professor Emil Hamilton, he has a friendship, and this friendship really, by way of his scientific curiosity, is a way of Superman kind of getting to kind of bond with his father in a sense of like, he's in the ship that his father built. He's exploring space and the cosmos. And Superman kind of delving into the scientific side of his father's studies and what his father was all about. So it's a kind of a personal. It's kind of what Superman does. What does Superman do in his off time when he's not saving people? Well, it's this. And
honestly, it's nice that we established that, because it's like, a lot of the times we'll just have like, oh, if he's not saving people, he's just bumbling around as Clark Kent. But it's like, no, it's like Superman, he's got other things that he's looking into that aren't just the heroics. But, he is, like you said, he is kind of going for that science sort of breakthrough thing here, which is a really interesting wrinkle in the character that we haven't really seen a lot of up until this point.
Yeah. It's also a practical thing too, where Superman, like, well, if I do need to go into space to help save the day, I should have a functioning rocket, and I should see how far I can push this thing. And that's essentially, and really for plot reasons, we need an excuse to get him in space so he and Lobo can get kidnapped by the end. So that's the main reason we're doing this. But still, it's good to have it established. So Professor Hamilton's like expressing his gratitude for studying Superman's ship and helping him retrofit and everything, is where we establish the whole thing that, okay, so the rocket functions, it's not destroyed, we're going to use it for future stories. Then we have a classic Paul Dini transition here, which just cracks me up, where Dini has Hamilton like talking about like the mysteries of the universe and like the wonders of space and alien species and like, oh, what wonders they might behold, and then cut to Lobo belching.
That's a great transition. Yeah,
the Dini cut, if I've ever seen one.
Okay, so this we got to talk about these alien designs, because it's so unlike anything else that we've ever seen in the DCAU before. You know what it reminds me of, Dragon? You know what it gives me the vibe of?
What does it give you the vibe of?
Titan AE.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's accurate.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, no, I see it.
So, I mean, I love the creature design. I love like the face and the eyeball, like that kind of wacky shit. Of course, it's got a little bit of a Mos Eisley Cantina vibe as well. Just a really interesting flavor that we haven't seen so far.
So again, a lot of the flair of this episode, Dini, with the big component that he brought to Superman is he loved the wacky '50s era Superman, which that's when we get Nixie, and that's when we get like a whole bunch of other like Superman had a lot of wacky sci-fi stuff in the '50s, which was like the tone in the comics period. '50s was the wacky sci-fi period, so. That's why Dini's favorite character is Mixie Spitwick with Superman, which is what we'll see a few episodes down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he loves getting into like the sci-fi and kind of the weird kind of aspects of Superman. So this was like a lot of fun for him here, and you can kind of see that we're kind of this is really the first other alien race that we kind of really spend time with here. And a part of me honestly kind of wishes. I mean, the way it plays, the reason this episode is in two parts is we have to establish Lobo, and it almost feels like roughly a 10-minute prelude with Lobo. Is okay, why is Lobo here? Who's this guy? It's kind of an introduction to Lobo.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, obviously, we need to highlight Brad Garrett here because what do we even say? It's like we just talked about Casper, and I feel like his Casper voice it's almost baseline Brad Garrett. But this is something else, man. I mean, it's not like he's not doing a French accent or anything, but it's very uncharacteristic of him. It very much plays against his usual type, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Brad Garrett. What's interesting? Brad Garrett. He never talks about his DCAU stuff, and always because Brad Garrett's a very he's a comedian. He loves he's one
of those like comedians, Dragon. He takes this thing really seriously.
I mean, look, I'm just gonna say I'm blowing smoke here with Brad Garrett, but he's really just he is kind of a modern Rodney Dangerfield to me. He really just embodies
absolutely. As far as his actual stand-up goes, yes.
As I'm saying, like Brad Garrett's role models. He's very much a contemporary of Rodney Dangerfield and Don Rickles. He loved Don Rickles, and he's very much he can work a room. He can do like the insult comedy. He's an insult comic. He's fantastic. So we all love Brad Garrett. And with that, though, I mean, he will never look at himself as the wonderful layered actor that he really can be. And we've seen here and there, and it's like the thing, like the most he'll ever cop to it was what he did with the Jackie Gleason movie, which you've seen that, right? I've shown that to you, haven't I?
What movie? Sorry?
Jackie. There's a TV movie of Jackie Gleason where he played Jackie Gleason. Did you ever see that?
Oh, I don't think I've seen the whole thing. You might have shown me a clip or something.
Yeah, he's oh my god, that's the most dramatic Brad Garrett role you got. He's so good in it. Anyway, but the man's got range, and what he did as Lobo is great. One of his best performances because it's him having fun. He's funny, but he's also kind of menacing, and it's kind of it's Brad Garrett. Essentially, he's kind of DC equivalent to playing Deadpool, which is just beyond awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So so he's just very impressive. Plus the fact that we also, we've had him as Bibbo, and now it's really good character work on him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. So, anyway, yes, we have our introduction here at the. I think it's like it's like the steaming pile or something. It's what we call this. This dive, the space dive.
Really, the steaming pile?
It's something. It's something like that. I have it written down somewhere. It's we'll get to it when we get to it, I guess. But unless you can see it before I can. But anyway, so we have our Deadpool bounty hunter, alien bounty hunter here. He's tracking down his.
I like that we spent like almost half the episode just establishing who this guy is.
Oh yeah, and I thought it was a good choice. Honestly, I think we could have just started with Lobo, and then even before Superman, it's like in the Rocket. But I think that was a mandate thing. We have to establish the Rocket and Superman shows.
Right, I kind of got that sense as well. I got the sense of like the studio is like, "What are you crazy? This is a fucking Superman show. We can't just have the whole first half of the episode be this random character we've never met." But you know what, though, Dragon? I mean, let's be fair here. If we don't have that Rocket, we don't have that awesome Hamilton transition. That's probably part of why.
There's something important I meant to tell you about Lobo.
Okay.
So Lobo was created by Rocket Raccoon's creator.
Really? Nice.
Yes. So the team, I believe the artist, David Geffen, who passed. Not him. Sorry, Keith Giffen. Yes, Keith.
Did you just cite David Geffen as Geffen of the DreamWorks?
I tried.
Sorry. It's just an amusingly random pool. I'm sorry.
Okay, I heard. I want to say Geffen. I heard it was pronounced. I heard it was also pronounced Geffen. That's where. Anyway, the point. Fine. Keith Giffen, who, again, on a somber note, passed away, Tiki.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so creator Rocket Raccoon, he also did Lobo.
Mm.
Anyway, so let's see. The point being, he is, we really honored, Dini really honored like everything about Lobo here, and the style of humor from the Lobo comics were extremely violent and crude, which again parodying what we were seeing with the anti-hero craze, and like we're using like frag and geeks and everything. I'm gonna frag you geeks on the count of 10.
Very
1,
contemporary
10.
writing for like the early 2000s for sure.
Yeah. Which is often kind of what they did in the comics too, here and there. I think the comics were allowed to go a little further somehow, but also, Frag was very much the placeholder. So let's see. Anyway, so he's going after his bounty, Squeak, who is voiced by David Landers, Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley.
Mm.
I love the eyeball design he's got there. Really
I do too. Yeah.
And with the eyeball design, you'll notice the eyeballs are like little bullock heads from Batman the Animated Series.
Oh God, really? Oh
yeah,
man,
well,
I didn't
if
notice
you look
that.
at
I'll have to go back and look for that.
it could be just coincidental, just with the style of design. But if you look at it,
it's kind of like how in Disneyland there's certain animatronics that have the same facial mold. You know what I mean? Like spread out throughout different attractions. Anyways.
So the point being, this whole 10-minute thing is kind of a sample of like what the typical Lobo caper is.
It's basically throwing you into like a 10-minute pilot for a Lobo spinoff, essentially.
Yeah, which again, there were talks, and we did have like a web series, so there was a.
I'm honestly surprised they haven't fully committed to something like that yet.
Well, then it was a lot harder to sell. Now it'd be a lot easier.
I'm just saying, with like Deadpool being as popular as he is, I'm honestly surprised we haven't gotten more Lobo stuff recently.
Well, we are getting Lobo and Supergirl, so
I know, I'm aware.
It's good.
Rami, do we have a casting for that yet?
Yeah, we did. Jason Momoa.
Okay, I thought it was Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I'm still a little skeptical with the Aqua. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good choice. It's just it's going to be weird with the Aquaman thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, he's far more like on the money for Lobo than he is.
Oh yeah.
Regardless, I mean, we have seen Lobo in live action one other time pre Jason Momoa. We have in Krypton. One of the few good things about Krypton, season 2. In season 2, Krypton had a lot.
That show is basically like the Superman equivalent to fucking Pennyworth.
Yeah, it's what's weird. It's Pennyworth, but it had like it basically went the way of Gotham doing the villains and everything for Superman very well, but again without a Superman, which is just baffling.
Right.
Like we had a really good General Zod. We have Doomsday. We established Doomsday pretty well. We have Brainiac, which again first on screen Brainiac period, by the way, like full on green alien Brainiac.
Okay, yes, I have not given Pennyworth any look of a chance, to be fair. So I just pick on Pennyworth because I think it's a stupid concept for a show.
My favorite thing with that Pennyworth show is that they made Alfred's father the Alfred Beagle design, which I always felt was like a really kind of cute little nod.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyways, with the comments, Dragon, we probably should get into some comments here really quick.
Yeah, go on.
Break things up too much. Let's see. Kogias is saying, I think that Professor Hamilton could use a big role in a film. He didn't get much to do in Man of Steel. Yeah, I mean, especially because like I feel like he would fit right into the James Gunn Superman thing too, because like, I feel like I could totally see the James Gunn Superman being all in on the on the improving mankind by way of testing his powers thing. So we will see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He says, I didn't get a chance to watch Casper until the Astria anniversary stream, but I think that film holds up well. Yeah, I think it holds up really well. Specifically the effects. I think it's one of the good testaments of like, if you're gonna do animated characters in a live action format, just make them look like cartoons, dude. Don't try and do the photorealistic thing. Just make them look like cartoons. Okay. Dragon, you'll appreciate this. Eli from Little Blue says another alien Brad Garrett voice was Torque in Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Put that damn show on Disney Plus already.
He was you remember Torque, don't you?
Vaguely, Dragon, vaguely. That's why I'm saying put that show on Disney Plus so I can actually watch it.
Torque was basically the voice that he used was Tank from a Goofy movie, from an extremely Goofy movie. So it was very similar. It was a lot of it was good.
All
right.
Okay, anyways, Kogias also says, I don't know if Lobo would work as a lead character or not, but I think he's a fun supporting character.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're probably right. And honestly, Dragon, obviously, you and I disagree on this point. Like, this might be one of the biggest contention points that you and I disagree with. I don't think Deadpool works particularly well as a main character. I'm sorry. He's obnoxious for me. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. All right. Anyways, we're going to move on. It'll be okay, Dragon. Our relationship will recover.
Anyway. This is the Steaming Load. That's what the place is called. The Steaming Load Tavern.
Nice.
Anyway, so he's holding on to like a Squeak, and he's delivering the Emperor Spuge,
which is just again a great design, a great.
Just wait until you see him. Anyway, so he whistles for the bike, which is a really cool kind of callback. So kind of like how the Silver Surfer says, "Come to me, my board." It's like he whistles.
Oh, and the bike is very much his Silver Surfer board for sure. Sure. It also was Bat Out of Hell an influence at all, Dragon?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't.
Just the imagery of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like going for like definitive biker stuff. You probably
right. Yeah.
Anyways, the point being, like, the Squeak's brother, I think, basically he and his other bounty hunters, they're showing up to take the bounty from Lobo, and he ends up fighting him off, and he blows up the bar.
Solo scene from The Force Awakens.
Okay.
The Simon Pegg one.
Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah. Wait a minute, wait. That guy, Simon Pegg was in it, but he wasn't that guy though.
Well, okay, you know what scene I'm talking about, though.
I know what scene you're talking about. I'm saying that guy wasn't Simon Pegg, but I know what scene you're talking about.
Oh, wait, no, of course he wasn't Simon Pegg, because wasn't Simon Pegg the fucking, the merchant alien guy?
Yes.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, definitely not Simon Pegg. I don't know who I'm thinking of. My bad.
Okay.
Anyway,
so the point being, blows up the bar. We introduced to the Preserver. Now, the Preserver, Tiki. Fun casting on this guy.
This is like the weirdest villain that we've gotten in the DCAU so far, just hands down, I think.
Yeah. So the Preserver is voiced by Sherman Howard. Now, Sherman Howard, you and I know from Batman Beyond. He was Derek Powers.
Oh, nice.
So this is where they got it. So here's the thing. So Sherman Howard has a few DC connections here. So Sherman Howard is in this show because he auditioned for Lex, and he almost got it. Had Clancy Brown not walked in, he would have been Lex Luthor, which is why they put him in Batman Beyond, because we need kind of a businessman, kind of a Norman Osborn-esque, Lex Luthor type businessman. He auditioned for it, and the reason he was so good for the Lex audition is he played Lex Luthor in the Superboy TV show. And he was good. So, he played a little goofy there, but that was because it was the 80s. Point being, Sherman Howard, great actor, and, they kind of found a place for him here, and it developed into like everyone loves Blight from Batman Beyond, so he ended up working out for him really well. So this was him playing a really good character role, too. You can't really recognize that Sherman Howard, so he's really good here.
Yeah, for sure.
So the Preserver is this weird floating egg-shaped, kind of very collector-esque character. He beams Lobo aboard
very
for a job.
Absolutely, yeah.
Beams him aboard for a job offer, and we have this is where Dini really, I think, what he likes about Lobo, really dug in and played to his strengths, his Tiny Toons strengths here, is that he's a very Looney Tunes Yosemite Sam mentality with Lobo. As he tries to beat up the Preserver with the crowbar instantly. That's his first, the Hotel de Frag. He's gonna crack open the egg, and then he, of course, just gets zapped and everything. And it's not happening for for Lobo. The most ruthless bounty hunter in the galaxy. Lobo, rejects the offer until the Preserver captures his bounty. So now he has no choice but to really work with this guy. Keeps rejecting the offer. Till he sees the Preserver has this collection of like It's like his ship is like Noah's Ark in space. It has like this collection of the last surviving species of every alien race, and this it's appropriate that we're getting this guy after Brainiac. Brainiac's all about like the collected knowledge about each planet that he then made an endangered species, and now we're having the last species.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we have a cameo. We have Starro cameo. Tiki, did you see the Starro cameo?
I missed it actually.
Oh yeah, so that's that.
Sorry.
Tiki, I'm gonna. Well, you know where this pays off, but Tiki. So, Starro cameos here, and in Batman Beyond, when we do the big Justice League episode with Starro taking over Superman and everything, it is in reference to this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, point being, Starro.
Cool.
Okay, so just plant a flag there.
All right.
He reveals to Lobo Superman is the bounty. He is the last survivor of Krypton. He wants the Kryptonian. Lobo's not interested. He's about to. I'm going to offer you basically a homemade colostomy bag or something. He's about to do anyway, he's about to do something really horrible to him. And then he presents him with all this treasure. So that's going to buy a lot of Mai Tais. And then we have this great Brad. This feels so Brad Garrett mixed with Paul Dini writing, and I love it. As he takes the job, he says, "Close down the cage, boss. You're getting a new monkey." And that's pretty much our 10-minute prologue. Then the actual episode starts.
All right. So we get some really good, let's see. We start at the Daily Planet, right?
Well, we start with yeah, you're right. We're at the Daily Planet. We have Angela Chen, the rival of the Daily Planet, doing the broadcast, reporting on Lobo, this Lobo UFO sighting, scrungy biker alien, the cop at the desk sergeant at the Metropolis PD is like scoffing, and then Lobo shows up looking for Superman. I love the detail that the Preserver gave Lobo this awesome like hologram card, which works like the little hologram puck from Mandalorian. And he tore it up, but he had to tape it back together to show people.
I love that detail, and I also love how casual everyone is about that technology in the show.
Oh yeah, I just love they had to tape it back together.
Yeah.
It looks all it's just this messed up hologram.
It's definitely a cool little gadget that I'm sure warmed your heart.
Yeah, it did. I loved it. So the cop says, "Well, we don't have a way to contact him. He only shows up when there's trouble. I can
make trouble." That's a great.
So, okay. Now we're at the Daily Planet. Tiki, I've been waiting to get this. I completely forgot that it was in this episode. Okay. Tiki, this is like it's appropriate. It's a Paul Dini moment. Okay. This is a Hall of Fame Superman gag and Paul Dini.
Oh, okay. I know what it is. When Clark just lays it all out on Front Street about the edge. Yeah, fucking perfect. Like, awesome moment. Classic Superman. 10 out of 10. 4 stars, no notes. I don't know what else.
So Lois Lane asks Clark, like, Smallville, I don't get it. How does how do you get all this? How do you keep out scooping Miss Smallville? How does that happen? Then we just have this cheeky smile. Basically, this is like the George Reeves Superman moment to end all George Reeves Superman moments that we have with Tim Daly here. It's flawless. With a cheeky smile, Clark Kent leans in. He lowers the glasses. Says, "Well, Lois, to tell you the truth, I'm actually Superman in disguise. I only pretend to be a journalist to hear about disasters as they happen and then squeeze you out of the byline."
I love how pretty much all of that, except for like the competitive element with Lois, is like 100% true.
I mean, he is squeezing her out of the byline, though. It's not that inaccurate.
No, but he's not being like competitive about it, though. You're right, he is. But anyways,
I mean, he is gay. He and Lois do have some competition there.
No, you're right.
He's not doing it maliciously, but
I take it back. You're right. It's not malicious. Yeah.
So then we have like this classic line, which I love that he kind of recycled from Batman the Animated Series, but I'm not complaining because it was from my favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series, so I think it just counts in good company. Lois Lane, much like Harley Quinn to the Joker, says, "You're a sick man, Kent."
Great, perfect.
Again, with that George Reeves look, he says like, "Hey, you asked." So it's like the whole Truth, Justice, the American Way thing. Superman never lied to her. She asked him point blank, and he told her.
Speaking of another Superman-ism, I just heard a theory that I really love. You want to hear it really quick?
Sure.
Okay, so Flurry from Peacemaker. You know his bird blindness thing?
Yeah.
What if he's the one that comes up with the whole, is it a bird? Is it a plane?
That's funny.
It's not my idea. I've heard it. I've heard the idea kind of spreading around, but I love it, and I would absolutely approve of that.
It would probably work. I think the only way that would actually work is if he's like misidentifying Hawk Girl as she's landing. Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
I can't tell what it is.
And she shows up. Well, it ain't Superman.
All right. Anyways, sorry.
All right. Okay, let's see. So Superman hears a commotion, uses X-ray vision to see the police station chaos that is going on. Of course, Lois shows up again. Clark Kent is gone as Lois gets the call. So it's well, he told her. So this is just great. So Lobo's just like casually, sitting at the Metropolis, police department desk, and he's just shooting up the place with a big honking gun, and he's wearing like the police hat, and he's just like, oh, whoa, mosquito, and he's just shooting everything. Yep. And again, just like that Paul Dini Looney Tunes or Tiny Toons logic applied to Lobo, like he does with like Lobo and Mixie Spitalik, is just great. So Superman arrives, and I love this. Like Lobo is very all in front here. Finally, I've been trying to get in touch with you all day. He like built a bomb and everything. Superman just shows up to just casually. He's building. Well, what's it going to take to get this guy to show up?
Sure.
So Superman's like, okay, well, wait, who are you? Like, what is it? Oh, yeah, sure, let me get my card. And he punches him. And yes, there's some fighty fight, but at least we have some good jokes within the fighty fight.
No, it's great. Dragon, basically, what this is it's the tone that the Zod fight should have been, right? Where the Zod fight was just the fighty fight and none of the quips, none of the fun. It was just like, I'm going to throw you into a building, and then I'm going to throw you into another building.
It wasn't a chatty fight beyond, like, it starts with, like, Krypton had a chance, and then it's fight, and then of course, like, no, don't.
I mean, this is fun. Like, we are getting really good dialogue, really good quips at each other. We're building up Lobo's character. It's just, me, Dragon. Once a fight goes over like a few minutes, I kind of start to zone out a little bit.
Of course, we have Brad Garrett just on fire here, like as he spells out Lobo. L is in lacerate, O is in obliterate, D is in disembowel, O is in, well, I guess I can use obliterate twice. So Superman, he's caught off guard by, and this is the appeal here. Now, mind you, we got some power scaling going on, but that's like the series Bible for the show. Where Superman's going to get strong over the course of the DCAU. He's not going to be like Chris Reeve Superman right off the bat. In terms of strength. So with that in mind, it was a really inspired idea. Okay, so what if Lobo, being an alien from another planet, he could be at least kind of like Metallo was. He could be kind of measure the Superman's strength. Maybe not be as strong as Superman, but at least could measure up to him. And being just the vile, like, again, Superman not a trained fighter, which also is at his disadvantage. Lobo, he's been around. He's a biker. Superman might be in a bit of trouble here. Also,
it's like obviously Superman has more power than this, but it's almost kind of like the whole salty spittoon thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, Superman has power, but like as far as just the attitude goes, it is very much throwing SpongeBob SquarePants into the salty spittoon.
Yeah. So Superman's caught off guard. It's really unique, Superman being caught off. And this is like the whole Bible theory thing, too, of like, okay, how are we going to make a Superman show where he can't just solve the problem in 5 minutes, where we're going to have foes that are going to challenge him without using
Superman dilemma? And I'm just like, dude, it's not that hard. I mean, like, yeah, it's a challenge, but plenty of writers have come up with really good stuff using those obstacles.
We're not using the green rock every time. That'd be the other thing, too, So, so he's caught off guard by his opponent here. They have an opponent who's very strong, very durable, knows how to fight, and also we don't really demonstrate it here because we can't get as violent as the comic does. But like Deadpool and Wolverine, Lobo does have a healing factor. We don't see it, but just trust me, it's there. That's also not working in Superman's favor. So, Superman's in trouble. The cops try to help him out here. They throw some like tear gas or some knockout gas. Say, "Oh, I've never seen a creature like this." Of course, Lobo reveals he's awake, just faking Superman out. I love you too, mwah. And he's bam. Boy, like first rule of hunting, make the target come to you. Superman kind of throws it back at him. Good advice, makes him come to him for the fight. Some nice bits there. Then we have like the great gag here. I'm sure you're excited to get to.
Yeah, sure.
As they're on the bike and kind of fighting through the city, they they crash through LexCorp Tower.
Yep.
If
And
Lex is
it's great because it's just like, up until this point, it's like, oh, Lex could take an episode off. He doesn't need to be in every episode. Nope. And it's basically like the equivalent of like a Dennis the Menace ruining the neighbor's day. You know what I mean? It's
ruining
like
Mr. Wilson's
Superman.
So this is my kind of Lex cameo, by the way. I've always thought these are the kind of Lex cameos I want.
Mm-hmm.
It was in his office, and just like what the devil is he's on the phone with the president, like selling the nation arms and everything is like crashing right through the. Later on's the better one, but that's just great. Like what the devil? It's like. All right, so Superman, so there's a nice bit here, and this, kind of planting a flag for the anti-hero side of Lobo here. So Superman saves a monorail of passengers from a missile that Lobo fires from the bike. Lobo is genuinely impressed. You really care about those geeks, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
They're human beings. And then Lobo's basically says, "Well, yeah, I'm a bounty hunter. I'm gonna haul your carcass to the guy who hired me to get you." He pulls out the crowbar, just revels, revels in like the main man always delivers. Let's see. So, by the way, the more you move, the more it's going to hurt. So feel free to go crazy. So Lois steps in here with a lead pipe, and then he's getting all flirty with Lois Lane, and the Superman's not liking any of that at all. Eats like the pipe, and then Superman's just getting super ticked off. We have this gag like, show old Lobo how classy you are. She slaps him, and every time Lois tries slapping the bad guy, it just never works for her. She slaps Metallo, hurts her hand, slaps Lobo.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give her credit for trying, but yeah,
I'll give her credit. I just hope she again. She one time she's gonna do that. It's like, oh god, I need a hospital. Oh god,
oh
ah.
god.
So
I mean, that would be the realistic version.
Well, still though, I mean, it's like I'll give her like the next time it happens, we gotta like question Lois. What are you doing, man?
Do you want to keep a running tally of how many times Lois tries to slap the villain?
Sure. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen too many times, but so far it's. I know there's a third time coming, but it's so far we're on 2.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, so we have
I feel like our running tallies have just gotten progressively dumber.
Yeah.
Because the Terry tally, like that was fun. That was fun. This is just stupid.
Yeah, this one's not going to come off. All right, so then we have a great Lobo line here, just like I like a babe who plays rough. Give me another. Come on, right here. So Superman's so ticked up, like punch, right there, right here, like pow, right in the kisser, and that punch launches him right through LexCorp again.
Mm-hmm.
With all the PG cursing on the way up, like Lex is like saying, when all the repairs completed, is like, I love this. This cracks me up. Kill, maim, frag, destroy. That's what he says as he goes through the floor. Just random verbs, like random, like it's like immediately. So Lex is just not having a good day.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hilarious, very mundane. So we have this cute. Tell them about the cute Superman and Lois bit.
I honestly don't have. No, you do it. I'm sorry.
The point being is they're checking on each other, like, "Oh, I'm fine." It's like, "You okay?" "I'm fine." There's just gotta go. Just give him one for me. Make it a dozen.
Oh yeah, right. The make it a dozen thing. My bad.
But still, it's a nice little bit of concern with like they're finishing. They're talking they're over talking each other.
Well, and once again, we keep mentioning this, but it's like Lois only has a few minutes of screen time, but they use it really well, and it's like we almost have a whole kind of arc for her where she's going from just kind of like in full-on rival mode to showing that they truly do care about each other, which that's obviously nothing groundbreaking in the Superman and Lois role, but again, I think it's telling how effective they use that screen time.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So
he didn't need this episode though. I'm just realizing that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
He was in his trailer. So they fight at the docks. Now, I really wish Bibbo showed up here, frankly, but they're fighting at the docks. He calls the bike, and he basically takes five, so he goes away. Superman takes the opportunity to get into the spacesuit in the rocket. He's in the spacesuit because we need to sell toys. He's in the spacesuit. So he's pursuing Lobo, and he's going into deep space despite being a little untested there because he has to drive him away from the Earth, seeing how much damage he's going to cause here just to get Superman. So, Superman making a smart play here. But Lobo attacks the ship directly. So, because apparently, again, because of the healing factor, Lobo can survive in the vacuum of space. So, there's a problem for Superman.
Mhm.
So he launches himself to protect the ship, and I like the logic here, but he doesn't want them to destroy the spaceship, so he launches himself out. They're fighting. We have the crowbar shot from the opening credits. Get your hands off my hog!
God.
Let's see. So in the middle of the scuffle, they're in range of the preserver ship, and it zaps Superman. Lights zap Superman just enough for Lobo to have like the big act break line of like lights out Clyde, punches Superman out. So Tiki, tell
I
us
do
about
think
our
it's pretty effective and clever that Lobo, like, he pretty much knew that he wasn't ever going to be able to, like, actually physically defeat Superman. So what he does is he draws Superman to the to where he needs to go. Like, that is effective. Just give credits due there.
That's a good point. I never thought about that because he does say make the target come to you.
Exactly.
I do wonder, though. I mean, that's the thing. Lobo can present very stupid, but by the same token, though, he's very smart. So I don't know how much.
I feel like he's one of those characters where he intentionally, like, tries to make himself dumbed down in how he comes across to other people.
Honestly, you know where I think you're right, but I think he came up with that idea once after Superman was like after that hit after he punched him through the building again after he was hitting on Lois. I think when he took five, when him saying I'm taking five, that's him coming up with the idea and laying the trap for him. That's where I think he came up with it. I think he initially thought Superman was going to be a weakling, and then it's like, okay, this guy's going to be a problem. I'm going to bring him to me.
Uh-huh.
All right. So this is great. This is some great D writing here. So Superman wakes up dressed exactly like his father, and he is seemingly on Krypton, on Krypton. Like that's a great heady, kind of waking up moment for him. So he's greeted by the Preserver. It's an incredible. You're not on Krypton. It's just an incredible simulation. So he's in the Preserver's warped way of looking at things. He's protecting the species from extinction. Which I like the way he's looking at that. A Preserver is not really. He's a demented collector, but he's not pure evil, depending how you look at it.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. It's really interesting how some of the Superman villains, it's like they're it's all about kind of like preserving that Kryptonian heritage, right? It's like I feel like that it's the same way for like a number of villains. Like obviously Zod's kind of into that, Brainiac is into that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's a preservation thing for certain characters, but there's also again like with the running theme of this show, it's about the whole power corrupting thing. Where the Preserver has the power to save. He's if we look at each Superman villain as a perversion of the power corrupting. Superman wields the power the way he should, and the way we want somebody to wield that kind of power. Everyone we've seen so far is wielding in a negative way, or like kind of going off the reservation. But the Preserver is like trying to do it in a way Superman would to an extent, or basically like Preserver is kind of the more optimistic version of a Brainiac.
Mm-hmm.
He's genuinely trying to preserve the species, but he's also kind of collecting them, and it's like for his own benefit, though. Like he's looking at it as like a noble intent, but it's this slippery slope of like, okay, you take in a shelter, like you adopt a dog or a cat or something, right? It's like you're protecting it. It's a rescue animal, right? But if that animal is sentient and it can talk, like then and it says, I don't like being here. Well, it's for your own good. That's where that's where we start to step on the ethical toes right there,
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the Preserver goes into a bad guy right there of like, okay, the sentient like living survivors too, like that's this is where we're going south here.
Sure.
So this is the first time. By the way, here's a big earmark. First time we're replicating a red sun. So since we were on Krypton, the first time we've done a legit red sun.
Nice,
And
nice.
we've established the Superman, the red sun, and we spell it out to him from a guy who would know. The red sun takes away your powers, so there is no escape.
Mhm.
Did all this for accuracy, though. It wasn't like out of evil. It's like, well, no, Krypton had a red sun, so I replicated that. And we have, like, I'm convinced Dini did a callback to Donner Superman here, where Superman says, swell, which I'm thinking is a nod to the whole, like, swell? Smallville, no one says swell here.
No, you're probably right. You're probably right. I mean, like, obviously, the crew working on the show has a lot of reverence for Donner Superman, so I'm sure that worked its way in there. It's a pretty famous line.
So Lobo, he's about to leave with his treasure and his bounty, and he's gloating to Superman, and he's threatening to visit Lois after settling his bounty, which Superman is nonplussed by. But the Preserver reveals, he has one more job for him, the Last Zarnian. Now this was the reinvention of Lobo and the whole character. This is from the comics, and this was always a really cool idea. He says it so casually, but it is a gag thing. But it's like just the hilarious, just kind of exaggeration of the Lobo character, where he, for a stupid reason like this, he actually did kill his whole planet. So Lobo, well, I'm the last Zarnian because I fragged my homeworld as part of my high school science project. Which is hilarious and insane, but yeah, he did that.
Mhm.
So Lobo gets gassed, and he is now he's taken prisoner, much like Superman. Nobody double crosses the main
The
man.
main man.
Really highlight the main man, which is his moniker.
And that's a good cliffhanger.
They're pickles in a jar.
They need a raccoon and a sentient tree to break them out, and they can take an elevator, and it could be a thrill ride.
Yeah.
But then they'll have to go back for the sentient tree person at dark, and there will be a monster chasing them around. All right, it's totally a stretch. Totally a stretch. Now I ruined it. With the monsters after dark. Then I'm sorry.
A little bit. Yeah, I think.
Sorry.
Tiki,
I should have quit while I was ahead.
Tiki, do you remember that scene in Toy Story where Buzz is freeing Woody from the crate when the toolbox is on top of him? He saved him, and then he went a little too far, and the toolbox just fell on him. Anyway, you dropped the bin for toolbox on us.
Wow. Tiki. All right. Okay, but yeah, no, this is obviously a really solid episode. Like I said, I don't necessarily want to call it my favorite of the series, but it is very kinetic, really good action. Obviously, Lobo is a highlight as a villain. I definitely prefer the first half to the second half, just because I really, really appreciate the world building that was at play. It was a very unique episode in that regard, and just a good cliffhanger. Looking forward to the next one.
Agreed. Honestly, part 2 is going to be a lot of fun, but I still get a lot of love for part 1, and they're two very different parts. I will tell you that we're very different, but they are very good as a whole. It's a great kind of Superman Lobo adventure on the whole. It was a gas rewatching this one, just seeing all the great Dini bits that we had infused here, just seeing I don't know, the appreciation I had for Paul Dini is looking at this episode again. Oh my god, it's so clever, and just him having a blast with Lobo and working in the iconic Superman Clark Kent joke. It's wonderful.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, that'll about do it. Dragon, you want to tee up the next one?
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Held prisoner in an alien menagerie. Superman. Forced to team up with an unruly bounty hunter. Superman. Doing battle with an Eggman.
On the next visit to the Fortress of Recaps with the Main Man, Part 2.
Kill, maim, frag, destroy.